Welcome to another episode of Are You Mad at Me? I'm Vickie Morgan.
And I'm Josh Morgan, and just if you're keeping score, it's episode 14 of season 2.
Josh is out of breath because he's running around producing, and the team is just here. Oh, they're just, okay. Hey, guys.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, good. No, it's okay. We go ahead. It's fine. It's fine.
You guys can edit this part out.
Yeah. So welcome back. I hope you've had a good week. We've had an eventful week, and...
I'm out of breath because we just got home from walking downtown at the newly opened pedestrian mall.
Pedestrian mall's open. Woohoo!
So if you live in the St. John's area, which I know some of our listeners do, the pedestrian mall was fun. It's nice. It's nice to get downtown and just walk. Like, it's weird going downtown in like November. Yeah. And it's like, I can't walk in the middle of the road.
There's cars on the road.
There's cars driving by.
There's no patios. But it is, I don't know who went away. Probably someone took a trip to the mainland and came back with a great idea. And I'm sure it had lots of pushback at first. And now it's like just the way we do it now.
I have been seeing some pictures of the original pedestrian mall from the 60s. Did you know that happened before?
What?
Yeah, there's pictures of Water Street in the 60s. People walking the road. I think that was just
before there was cars.
That's just how they got around.
I love making Josh laugh. It's the best.
We did have an eventful day.
I had no idea.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, I love the pedestrian mall. It's fun. We saw so many people that we like.
It was checkbox, like check. It was awesome. Cool. You forget sometimes after a long winter, you forget to even like people. And then, especially when you're scrolling through social media, doom scrolling, and it's like there's no feeling. There's no like interaction. It's like, oh, there's people who forgot me. There's people who are having fun without me. And you don't get it.
And you forget that you like those people.
You forget that they like you.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so when you run into them in person, like, oh, we love each other. This is so great. And it was like one after another.
Let's do stuff together.
Lots of plans. Yeah. If everybody followed through on all the plans we made today.
We'd be very busy.
Yeah. Yeah, we wouldn't be able to do any more podcasts, that's for sure.
So
it was pretty fun.
Can we talk about our on the way home from the pedestrian mall?
Well, I was just thinking about that, and for new listeners, so here's what you're in for the next hour or so. We talk about marketing stuff.
And then it's 45 minutes of therapy.
And it's stuff like, stuff that happened, like to seem like somebody was mad at us or whatever. And then if we have any like goofy little things that happen. And so if you're just joining the podcast, if this is the first time you've ever heard, I use the phrase, Jesus laid this on my heart, even though I'm not religious, but I do use it a lot, and I've heard it a lot this week.
You use that in a tongue-in-cheek way of making fun of people from the South. It's like a God bless your heart kind of
So
sarcasm.
I use it as an excuse, like basically, I just had an idea and I'd like to share it. It might not be appropriate, but don't blame me because Jesus laid it on my heart. And that is the thing I learned in the South, that... Here comes. And it was usually followed by Vickie, you're too, whatever, fill in the blank right there. That's kind of how they communicated things to me.
I think I might have just unplugged my... Oh, no, I'm good.
You're good? So I'm saying all that to say, sometimes on the podcast, I'll have what I call Joe moments. And Joe, of course, as a baby, we lost 13 years ago. And I just have always felt like, again, I don't consider myself to be a religious person, but more of like a, university granola hippie type, whatever. But when things work out, or when there's like a special moment that happens, it feels like this son that we never got to have around. I feel like he kind of lined stuff up for us. And so, this is a story that you want to share.
So we got on the bus downtown when we were done at the pedestrian mall. The boys were exhausted. We had full bellies because we had some delicious lunch. Saw a bunch of people we liked. Got on the bus, and there's a big kind of a hub downtown at the convention center where lots of people get on the bus. So we're sitting there for a few minutes waiting for everybody to get on for the bus to leave.
Sometimes people do other crazy things at that little area.
Yes,
We've seen videos.
It's a fun little hub of the downtown area. So there was this security guard that we passed earlier in the day at that spot. That he was a young guy, maybe 20 or whatever, and he looked like he was just being nice to the people, like just a security guard hanging around this area. So anyway, when we get back on the bus, this security guard walks this old man. He was in his 70s probably, I guess. Walks this man up onto the bus, and he's telling the bus driver, this guy doesn't know where he's going. He doesn't know his address. He just knows he wants to get around this certain street in the city. And the bus driver's like, okay, like, what do you want me to do with that?
Yeah, he said he'd recognize the building.
So a couple like downtown bus riding people were like, oh, maybe you're going over to this place, maybe whatever. So anyway,
he ended up sitting right next to us.
He sat right next to us. There was no interactions or anything, but we're going. We get to around the area where they were talking about, and this lady was kind of sitting across the aisle, and she looks at this older gentleman and was like, "So where are you looking?" And so he's giving us like some landmarks that he's looking for, but he doesn't like know where exactly he's going. And we don't know if he's going home or if he's going to his friend's house or whatever. So we were just heading home. So I was like, well, why don't we get off and help this guy, like walk around. Worst case scenario, we call somebody to come get, like, we're not like,
worst case scenario,
we don't know where he's going.
Worst case scenario, he's a ninja and he's just duping everybody and he's going to beat the crap out of us, which could have happened. But
I figure he doesn't know where he's going. We don't know where he's going, but we can at least be there so he's not like wandering out into the road or somebody, takes advantage of him or whatever.
So I'm calling this a Joe moment because I'm sitting on the bus and we were in a 3-seater and he sat right next to me. And all I could think was, this could be my dad. So easily. Like that he was confused. He didn't know where he was. Physically healthy, but didn't know where he was going. He had written on a piece of paper where he was supposed to be and couldn't find the piece of paper. And so all I could think was, this could be my dad. And
you would want, like, if it's anybody's dad out on their
100%.
own, you would want somebody to be like,
hopefully the universe
let's go
provide.
find where you're going.
Yeah.
So when we got off the bus with him and walked him, and he's like, oh yeah, this looks familiar. Oh, this road. Oh, this is where I'm going. And then so he was going to a meeting. And the meeting place was closed for the night. People go to meetings at all times of the day and during the week and stuff. But this was.
It was an AA meeting.
That's what I mean. Yeah, I think that's implied.
So he was going to a facility that a friend of ours had helped restore. And so I recognized the building because our friend had posted lots of pictures when the restoration had happened and when they had a big grand opening.
Yeah, and we didn't know that's where he was going until we got to the building.
Right.
It's like, oh, that's
right.
what you're...
And so he was going to a meeting and it was late Sunday evening.
Yeah, and we get there, there's nobody there. And he's like, well, maybe they don't start till 8. And I was like...
He was going to wait.
You're going to just say, okay, we'll just leave you, right? So,
yeah.
Not really. Vickie got in touch with the person that helped build the building or helped do the renovations, and he said, yeah, they're not doing meetings again until tomorrow. So there's nothing's going to happen. So if we were to leave him, he's there for God knows how long.
And there was another meeting going on across town,
yeah,
on the east end of town.
And it's Sunday night, and the buses are starting to wind down for the night. So he's like, well, when I'm done here, I can go get, I think this bus goes over here and it takes to the bus station. There's no bus stations in town. It's just hubs where
well, just to put it in perspective, we were pretty close to the old bus depot, which has not been the bus depot for about 10 years.
Yeah, at least.
It's been the farmer's market. So he was,
we ended up, the Metro bus, they weren't answering the phone to help us. We figured maybe they'd give us a ride or give this guy a ride home.
Sometimes
he found his address in his wallet. It turns out he's only been back from living away for the past couple weeks. He just got back in town. So that's what he said, a couple weeks. And he might have been confused when he told me that, but he said he's from Newfoundland. He moved away in the 60s.
Oh, okay. That makes way more sense.
And he's been gone and started a family. He's got kids and grandkids and an ex-wife away. And he just moved back to be with his brothers and sisters. And he's only been here for a couple weeks. Now, whether or not he was confused when he said a couple weeks, I don't know. But he had his address. We figured there is definitely a bus that goes out there, but that's not happening tonight because it's Sunday night, and that's not happening. So we were like, well, we'll call him an Uber. It's $20 to get where he's going. Like, I'll pay for an Uber to get this guy home. That'll be just a charity for the night or whatever. You know what I mean? Like, it's a nice thing to do. And so Vickie had the idea of calling the police, the RNC, and they were like, yeah, sure, we'll take him home.
Well, I called Metrobus first because sometimes in a situation like that, they will send out the Metrobus supervisor, and if somebody has missed their connection, they're very helpful. There just wasn't anybody there today. So when I called the RNC, the non-emergency line, the lady was unbelievably helpful. She said, don't worry about it. It's okay. We'll send somebody out. She took my name and number. And I said, is he going to get in trouble for this? Is this okay? And she said, okay, even if he was, because I told her he was trying to find an AA meeting, and she said, even if he was intoxicated and wandering around confused or whatever, we would still just take him home. It's community policing. It makes the neighborhood safer. It keeps, and this is the same as a person who, this guy clearly had dementia, which can be brought on, little known fact, you can get dementia from years and years of alcohol overuse. I don't know if you can use it. If someone just has, if it's below the CDC levels, I don't know if you'll still do damage. But anyway, he told us he was a recovering.
Yeah, so he
had been clean for a very, very long time.
So that was my next thing. Was we were waiting for the police to come, and the police were, 15 minutes getting there, and we just stood there and talked to this guy about his life, and he had done the seal hunt for a couple years back in the 60s, and somebody he knew on the seal hunt got him a job on the lake boats in the Great Lakes. He moved to Quebec in Montreal and was working, and he said he worked the lake boats for 18 years, and he would just have so much fun drinking and gambling and working away. And everybody in Newfoundland was like, oh, that's just this so-and-so. He works away. He works on the boats. And he was just telling these amazing stories of like when he was growing up. And I mean, it was just such a nice encounter that we ended up hanging out with this guy for 20 minutes all together. And then,
I don't know how long it was.
And then the police got there and they were like, yeah, we'll take him home, give us his address. And that was it.
So it was nice. And it was
very nice.
One of those, like, you know, the kids were asking about him on the way home and they were like, what if he was like a bad guy that wasn't nice? And we all agreed, like, you know what? He was a confused, nice man that we met on the bus. And it's kind of an interesting perspective. Like, what if he was terrible to his kids? Or what if he was, and it was like this old man who's confused on the bus, like, deserved, I don't know. I'm kind of expanding my whole judgy thing of you running into people, and all I kept thinking was, I hope somebody would be that nice to my dad.
That's it. That's exactly it. And we see people on Facebook all the time where, like, the community pages where it's like, oh, so and so's went for a walk and hasn't come back, and we're just worried. And if you see him or whatever, just call them. And it was like, well, that could be, this guy could have family looking for him, and 100%, if he had stayed there, if he had got off the bus by himself, he would have been lost because
it was almost dark.
He didn't have a cell phone. It was almost dark. The buses were done. Like, he had another half hour of getting, and he wasn't getting home. He might have got back downtown, but he wasn't getting home.
We did take a picture of him, but I didn't know what to do with it. Like, where are you going to post that and say, hey, like, do you know who this is? Because by that time, he would already be gone and wandered off, and there was no buses, and he would just be wandering around town not knowing where he was, and the chances of him, going out on the road and getting bumped. Yeah. And again, as Josh Morgan would say, so nothing happened?
Nothing happened, yeah. But we had a good experience, and I'm glad that we got to hang out with somebody that we never would have met. And
he was very sweet. Very appreciative. Sweet. Shook our hands, told us to have a nice evening.
Had cool, fun stories, and
I found it kind of, like, in my own head, it's so weird that I don't have a clue how my own dad is doing. So he's out there with dementia, and I don't know what the progression is of that disease. I understand that there's like a lot of long-term memory kind of stays okay for some people. Some people get really violent. Some people get really sweet. And then my understanding is like the day-to-day stuff is what they forget, because my dad could tell stories like from when he was a child and remember every detail. So it's just kind of strange that he is in a home and I'm not next of kin. So that's a great big GFY to the people who took him and put him in a home and didn't put my name on the list. And the people out there are really protective and won't add my name to it. And I haven't fought it a whole lot either because I don't know. But anyway, I don't know how he's doing. And it's just kind of like and I did meet somebody else this weekend. This dementia, there's been a theme this past week of just little moments of like, am I supposed to read something into this? Like, is this a message from somebody or someone trying to tell me something? And so I saw this other lady who I had known my whole life, and she also has dementia. And she was very sad because there were all these people coming up to her saying hello, and she was looking at me. I knew she knew me. I knew it. But she was like, and looking at me, and like her eyes got a little filled up, and she was asking my name, and she was asking who my parents were. And we go back to my teenage years. Like, we've known each other a very long time. She's family. And she couldn't remember my name. And then there was this lady there with her who she also kept saying, so who are you again? And the lady was like kind of frustrated and like, oh, I told you already. And so this lady looks at me, and the older lady who has dementia, and she said, I can feel it. She said, I feel it when I see people. I have the feeling I know them, and I have the feeling of I know I love them. I just can't remember their names. And so she was, upset. And I said, I'm jealous that you get to do that, because you get to meet all these people. You get to feel all this love like you're just meeting them for the first time over and over and over again. And you get to feel all that love like meeting brand new people that you really like. And that didn't help very much. And so I said, and the other side of it is you get to forget all the arseholes. And she laughed very hard.
That's fact.
And I realized I had never said a swear word in front of her in my entire life because she was somebody's mom. But she laughed for a long time, and I felt really, and it was like, I had that moment of, oh my God, should I try harder to talk to my dad? And it was just like, I don't know, the universe is trying to tell me something, but sitting next to the guy, like actually touching off my leg, like he was not saying anything. And I kind of like looked at him, kind of glanced, and it was like, he looked like my dad. He sounded like the way he was moving looked like my dad. And anyway, I don't know if it was a sign from the universe, or if it was for me, or if it was for him, or for the guy that we met, or for the lady that I talked to this week. But it just seemed like a whole lot of moments where, not just for my benefit, but it seemed like we were able to help I don't know, be kind to other people. And it felt good. It felt really good.
It was a nice experience. And then we had a great time hanging out with the kids today. And I had a lobster roll for the first time in probably 10 years. Since we lived in Maine, at least.
I guess so.
Yeah.
We had a favorite place that we went to in Maine. It was in Freeport, just up around the LL Bean community. And because they basically have like a little tiny town.
Yeah, LL Bean town.
And it was a place called
the Lobster Cooker.
The Lobster Cooker. And they had the best fries and the best lobster rolls. And it was pretty similar to that, to Johnny and
Yeah, it was nice. It was pretty good. Yeah, so we had a good time downtown at the pedestrian mall. Yeah. And
saw a lot of friends.
It was the first day of summer for us because it was like 20 degrees out and sunny, and we were downtown and hanging out. And
so we've been going out a lot where we're dressed for early in the day, and then we come home froze because it's gotten so cold, and we're just about froze walking back up the road. So today, Josh was a keener and went ahead, and we all dressed in sweatshirts and jeans and just about cooked because it was way too warm. And we got home. It was still just getting chilly by the time we got home.
Yeah, it was nice. Like it was hot.
Still hard to navigate.
It was warm at noon when we went out, and then by the time we got back, it was nice.
By the time we got back, it was nice. That's how we navigate. Of course, that's how it. So Josh is carrying a backpack around.
Not having a car is like you can't put a jacket or long pants in the trunk. You got to carry everything you want to take with you. So I can only take so much in my backpack. So we wear stuff, and then we
like a turtle.
Yeah, exactly.
Carries our whole house around with us.
Yeah.
So it was becoming more and more obvious that we probably should get a car, but we're still hanging in there.
We're going to push it as long as we can.
Yes, absolutely.
So we had an event this weekend.
We had a great event this weekend. This past week. It was a Thursday.
So you'll be seeing this on Wednesday, and so it was last weekend. Because I'm sure everybody listens to this at 8 o'clock Wednesday morning as soon as it comes out.
From the future.
But yeah, this was Friday night, the 25th at the Elks Club in St. John's. Was it Thursday?
It was a Thursday.
It was Thursday. It was so nice. So you and Jeff Ronan and Arthur O'Brien and Colleen Power did a songwriter circle for 2 hours, and you each played like 4 or 5 songs and told stories, and the people that were there loved, I think, all the performers.
It was fun.
Yeah, it was really nice.
I had a good time.
Yeah.
I had a good time, and it was just having that time with those musicians and sharing a stage with them was fantastic and felt very authentic to me, and like, okay, check box, I think I might officially be a songwriter now. It was really nice. And I know that's ridiculous, I keep saying that, but I think that's kind of something that chases people forever, if they just never feel like they're quite...
Imposter syndrome?
Yeah, maybe. But it was pretty nice to be on the same stage and sharing stories and songs, and just to be...
And the Elks Club was great?
They're fantastic.
The people that worked
Beautiful
there were
spot.
super nice. It was a great spot. It was...
And I'm going to call that another Joe moment, which comes back to the Elks Club might be a magical place, because this time last year I was going to a high school reunion and realizing that, I really wish I had put more time into music and really given it more of a go, and I'm not ready to give up on it. And so that was the night that I kind of made up my mind, like, okay, I'm going to see what I can do with this. And so to be back in that exact room, playing a songwriter circle next to people who've been playing for 30 years. And of course, myself and Jeff have been writing for a while, and Jeff has been writing way longer than me. And his songs are absolutely phenomenal.
So good.
I can't wait for people to hear him.
Yeah.
He is so, so amazing. And the songs are like amazing. I ran out of superlatives for that one, but they're just
really
enchanting. He's absolutely brilliant. A great voice, great guitar player. And of course, I already know Colleen and Arthur's stuff. But to hear them telling the stories and sitting there next to him while they're performing is just a really special thing. And
like Arthur played a song that he hadn't recorded. It was something that he has played live, but hasn't put on any albums or anything. That was really
He did
nice.
play it on our radio show. I've heard that song.
Yeah, I knew I heard it.
It was great.
Somewhere.
The people in the room had not heard it before, and so it was really fun to be sitting next to Arthur. Like, we've been good friends for a very long time, and so we've never shared a stage though. We've never performed together, and that was really fun. And so it's really a privilege to provide those spaces, to create that space, to be able to, because it's not the same as going to an open mic or it's really a listening room. People are paying attention, and it's good to...
Yeah, and it's definitely different than a bar show where you're playing for 3 hours and nobody's paying attention. They're just drinking and eating in the background.
And you're not feeding the audience excuses to clap kind of things. It's not really so much a performance. It's like it's like an intimate...
People are there ready to clap.
It's an intimate experience where you're really sharing with people like you would in a living room at a party with people you like. That's the difference.
And we saw some really nice friends there. That was really good. So it was good.
It was great.
It was a nice night.
It was really, really fantastic. And so that was a lot of fun. I feel like there was something else.
Yeah.
Oh, I do want to go do a quick shout out to Blaine Clements, Blaine's Family Research. So, congratulations to Blaine, who went ahead and did a 30-day calendar, social media calendar, and stuck to it and posted the stats and the change that he saw in his social media activity. And it was hundreds of percentages, not 45 better. Hundreds and hundreds of percentages.
Yeah, it was
better
a big. It was a lot of traffic.
Jump in traffic on his site, and so of course now he's kind of set the bar pretty high. So I guess we should probably do that.
Well,
you
keep saying like, oh, I should probably do it because I've been telling other people to do it. No, I should probably do it. But you've been posting. We've been talking about this for a couple weeks. You've been posting a lot on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok. You've been posting a lot of
I have.
Just expose and stuff about the stuff about the show and stuff about just what you're doing. And
I haven't done a calendar, and I have not so when I get up in the morning, I don't know what's going to be posted, and that is a little bit chaotic. But
sometimes it's organic because sometimes it's like, oh, I'm going to do a video about this, or I'm here in this eating Johnny and May's having a lobster roll and some fish and chips. I'm going to do a video now and whatever. It's just nice, organic kind of stuff.
So I appreciate that. The issue is
yes, I get it.
There is no measurement and there is no plan, and it's a little bit chaotic because unless I get a bolt of inspiration, I don't. I'm only posting like, oh, I got an idea, and then I go do it. But I think having a little bit more of a structure of even if I knew, I don't know, maybe this is how it works for me. But I did start posting a lot more on social media. And I realized that posting as a remote host for the Are You Mad at Me podcast is the permission that I needed.
Yeah, like you can just pretend to be marketing your own station.
I love that you said pretend.
Yeah, but that's how you're seeing it. Is like you're a remote host, like you're.
But it's real. This is a real podcast.
Exactly.
And we do this every week for I think.
I only mean pretend as in like you're not in the. There's not a job that a position. The remote host thing is a job.
We'll just let him keep digging the hole. Here's the thing. I say this.
This is real marketing.
I say this to other people all the time. It's a real job. It's a real book. It's a real song. It counts. You matter. Your podcast is real. And then we say it to each other. But just hear the language. This podcast is our bread and butter. This is how we reach people every single week. People are responding. They're following the advice. Oh, yeah. They're buying the book. They're publishing their own books. It's working. This is a job. Yeah. Do we have a T4 at the end of the year? No.
Yeah, that's it.
We're not. Yeah. But waiting till somebody else comes along and says, hey, will you go out and do what is it called? Influencer. My friend died and said there's no influencers here in Newfoundland. And she said there's a huge market for influencers. And I was like, don't you have to be 20 to do that and have really long acrylic nails and, whatever. And so it got through. Like eventually you throw shit at a wall enough times, eventually someone's going to stick. So it occurred to me, I am good at this stuff.
100%.
So why not go out and just say, hey, and it's not like, am I changing the world? Did people know about Johnny and Mays today? Yeah, they know it exists. Were they aware of it today? Did they know the pedestrian mall started? Are they aware of the podcast? Are they aware that I call myself famous, sexy writer?
Exactly.
So that's 4 things right in a row. I posted a 33-second video from the wharf down in St. John's. And we were at a little dock, just on a picnic table with the food truck behind me, and 33 seconds of, here's what I call myself, famous sexy writer. Here's the name of my podcast. Hashtags, mentioning certain people, putting a little blurb on there, like 1 sentence. That's all it took. It took me about 5 minutes to do the whole thing, and then I shared it on Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok, and there's hundreds of views on there. Are they buying my book today? No. Are they hiring me as a consultant? No. Did they pay for my dinner? No. However, I can't sit in my house and complain for the rest of my life and go, nobody's hired me as a consultant, because if they don't know that this is what I do, how does the word get out? So yes, it's cringe. Yes, I feel completely gross and uncomfortable doing it, but who cares? I've kept on going. So microdosing embarrassment, I kept on going with that. And one of the videos that I posted was from the book signing last week, and it's up to 18,000 views. 9,000. I'm sorry, I overstepped. It's only 9,000. Only 9,000.
Yeah.
So that's 9,000 people.
10,000 is considered viral, right?
Is it? I don't know.
I think so, yeah.
I don't know. But anyway, that's 9,000 people that didn't know what my name or face or anything that I had a book. Last week I met Mary Walsh. I'd met her a bunch of times. She doesn't remember me, but I did a video with Mary Walsh. And who gets to say that very often? So It's working. I don't have like a chronological, like I don't have to count. I should be, at the very least, I should be keeping track of what I'm posting. And of course I could go back and just write down what dates are on all the things. But I just, it's so funny. I'm going to go back and pick on you a little bit more that you said, you can just pretend that you have a whatever. This is this. Like, would you buy your own, would you use your own supply? Would you buy what you're selling? It comes back to that. It's believing in what you actually have and using the strengths that you have and the, what do you call it? The resources that are at your fingertips. Social media is free. I should be putting stuff on YouTube. That's another place.
Yeah, we can do, so we have the podcast and the music page already that we can put, what do they call shorts? Are they just shorts?
Shorts or reels, yeah.
Shorts on YouTube.
Yeah. So we went to one a couple of weeks ago where we went to Long McQuaid. We're musicians. Does Long McQuaid know who we are? Yeah. Some of the salespeople in there know who we are. But then we tagged their national account. And so we're on the radar, baby. That's how you do it. Like, that's exactly. And it's, I think, almost think we might have a bit of an advantage over the really young people who were born into social media. We're coming at this with a whole lot of knowledge and experience and strategic. We got a little bit of strategery going on where we know who we want to associate with. Like I would love to have Johnny and Mays as a sponsor of the podcast. I loved their burgers. And the fish, tried the fish today, absolutely fantastic. How was the lobster roll?
It was good. It was good lobster roll.
We love the Johnny and Mays trucks. And so that's a place. They have a spot in at Landwash Brewery, which has like a space that you can rent upstairs. And so I'd love to have a partnership with them and do shows over at Landwash in Mount Pearl. So it's not accidental. That's where we wanted to go today, and it just happened that we were there. But I'd like a sponsorship from Metrobus for that matter.
Hell yeah.
I think when you said we had another bus story, I bet there was a handful of listeners going, what do they do now?
No.
Yeah. But that's the sort of, I think that's how it happens, is you're out in your regular life as musicians or as podcasters or as whatever. Like, the more we put a podcast out, the more people understand they can do a podcast. They might know about distribution. They might know about how to make a donut to, put a beginning and an ending on a podcast for us. Or they might know about how to post and how to share from Spotify to YouTube. And I don't know how to do these things, but you do. And if it happens every week, obviously they know what they're doing.
Yeah.
Anyway,
sure
it all counts. And so we're going to stop using the word pretend because it's real. And the only thing is, I'm going to go back to something I learned in my master's program, is when adults teach themselves a skill, if they don't have a sheet of paper to prove that they learned it or that they finished it or any sort of certificate from a big brick building, it doesn't count as educated.
You feel like it doesn't count. Yeah.
Most adults, that's the thing. Yeah. It's like, I just something I do for fun. But I would much rather if someone's going to do something for me, I find that the quality is a hell of a lot better when it's somebody that taught themselves and learned it all on their own, rather than someone that went to a school and had to come through it and probably came through with a 65 or 70%.
Right.
Someone that's has to use it as a
something
skill.
You're genuinely interested in and passionate about.
Yeah. I think that's the key, is the passion. And so that's so I think we're doing it because we love what we're doing. And if there was a way to make this into a life, like a thing that actually paid the bills, that's a really good thing. So connecting those dots is like, okay, you're doing it already. It's not making any money, but maybe if you do these simple little things like promoting the podcast by doing remotes and going out onto a location. And you also don't need permission to post about, we went to Taco Bell, we went to Tim Hortons, we've tried whatever. Not to slam any of the organizations. That's not at all, like, that's a whole different, that's not at all what I'm interested in. It's really more of, I'm out in the world, I'm a musician, I'm a podcaster, and I went and did this thing today. And I'd love to have this. So if I'm tagging it, there's a pretty good chance that I'd love to have him on as a sponsor.
That's right.
And there's the awareness of, they don't even know you're doing that. And I've seen some people do really well with like people who knit and do crochet stuff. They get sponsors with the yarn companies. And there's a lady, Jennifer Maker, who I love her business model. And Cricut is her go-to. Like, they send all the new equipment to her to try it out, all the new vinyls and all the things.
She's an influencer. She's not 20.
But she started off as an influencer who just loved making stuff. And I don't know what her real name actually is. I don't think it's Jennifer Maker. I don't think so. But now she's majorly sponsored by Cricut, and they give her machines to give away to her listeners and followers, and it's really become a business. And there are like knitters and crocheters who do the same thing. There are influencers who knit and crochet who do patterns on Etsy and make a ton of money, and they also get sponsorships from the thing. Because if you know what you're talking about, then the companies who are interested in selling equipment to other people who want to do the thing you're doing.
Exactly.
So, SM50, who makes these?
Sure.
So Sure we'd love to be sponsored by Shure. We also love Adobe products. So if you're interested in, if you like what we're doing and you like the editing stuff that Josh does, he uses Adobe products for that.
Yeah.
Is that? I feel like I'm selling out. It's smarmy.
No, we'll just take.
I feel like I should have one of those big things.
We're into bartering.
I feel like I should have one of those.
One of those guys?
In front of the house, because Vickie's selling. Here she goes. But I hope that people are listening to this and understanding that your opinion matters and your vote counts. And when you are doing things that you love to do, there's lots of opportunities. That's how I'm looking at life right now.
Perfect. I like it. That's
I'll
a good
keep
perspective.
everybody posted on if we ever get any sponsored content. And look at all the podcasts that are out there with sponsors.
Yeah.
You know?
Oh, yeah.
And it was like, well, then they'll tell us what to say. Like, that's not
okay.
That's not it at all. What are we like?
Whatever.
Okay, I'll say whatever. I'm basically a puppet.
Yes. Tell me what to say.
Yes, just put your hand up my ass and make my mouth move, and tell me what to say. I will do it. I am for hire. You gonna cut that part out?
Nope.
We should get a puppet down to illustrate that point. I can demonstrate. I can do a demo of
This
just
is how
exactly what I'll say and how much of a sellout I'm willing to be. But yeah, I like stuff. I do like stuff, and I like talking about what I like. And maybe one of these days, Nateland will sponsor.
There you go.
Maybe we'll be one of the podcasts that they have on. Of course, we'd have to delete all the first 100 episodes we did, but. I'll stop swearing if Nateland wants to carry us on their channel, and I'll dress up for Nateland. I'll be a mascot as long as I can see out of the face. I'm a bit claustrophobic. I should say that up front. So maybe don't give me a mascot job. Like maybe what could I do at Nateland? Let's dream. Can you do a fade sequence where we dream about what I can do at Nateland? I can visit it.
You just reminded me of the Everybody Loves Raymond episode where Marie goes, Frank, we're having guests over, and he goes, they better like swearing.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's kind of funny. I'm having fun. I'm having a good time.
There was a Trailer Park Boys episode too one time where they were in court, and Ricky's like, I'm sorry, I don't know how to speak without swearing.
They have I think it's called SwearNet.
SwearNet. Yep.
Yeah. So this is the kind of thing that, it starts out as a podcast or as a silly little idea, and then it becomes a channel or it becomes a station. And that idea too let's talk about radio for a second, because I don't listen to the radio. I don't have one in my house. I listen to the radio a lot when I'm driving, but as we all know, we haven't had a car for coming up on 2 years.
We listen to the radio when the bus driver has the radio going.
Yeah, and the bus drivers listen to weird podcasts, and
that happened once.
Okay, still happened.
It happened.
And there was another bus driver who had a Spotify playlist, and it had 3 different versions of Fast Car, which was a lot of fun. That was a long bus ride. But so the radio, it's just not something that I'm listening to all the time. So I love ads. I really love advertising. But I don't know what they're talking about on the radio. And so here's this whole world. The difference with radio is that if you turn it on, if you miss what's on live, you're never going to see it again. It's not like it's rebroadcast or you can go find it. But the beautiful thing about podcasting is that we post this, we record it, say, on Sunday night. Josh posts it Wednesday morning. And someone can find that anytime. You can find it years from now. You can find it a week later. You can find it as soon as it comes on, depending on how lonely you are. Because I don't know if anyone's awake at 8 a.m. on Wednesday. But
there's a local radio show. Speaking of that,
how do you know? Where are you listening to the radio behind my back?
I'm gonna tell you. Hang on a second. We had an email from, where did I see that email? It was somewhere weird, Bandcamp or one of our Mulberry Creek YouTube, some place we don't ever look. It must have been Bandcamp. It was like I don't ever go on Bandcamp for anything. But it was a message from one of the local radio DJs and one of the what do they call it? Not a commercial station. VOWR is a community station. I don't know.
Community or college.
This DJ had gotten in touch and said, "Hey, I like this song. I just want to let you know I'm playing it on this weekend." It was like 4 years ago or 3 years ago or something. It was 2024.
And we didn't know about it.
Yeah, 2 years ago. So I didn't know about it. So she said, I went to the website, or I think she might have put it in the email, but it was you can check the archives. So I went to their website, and her shows were archived all the way back. So I went and found ours. I found the episode that we were on, found the playlist, found where we were on it, downloaded it, cut out a little clip of her saying really nice things about our songs, about you, and yeah, it was nice.
Can't have too much of that.
So I know that doesn't happen on live radio, but sometimes people do record their stuff and they can archive it, and it's there. It's nice to go back and hear things in the past. Like
it's a little tricky because they're not really supposed to post songs unless they have a license. they're not really supposed to post songs on podcast, like on songs that are archived like that, on shows that are archived like that.
Yeah, I don't know.
Because there's no way for SOCAN or ASCAP.
Because people can go listen to it 100 times.
And there's no way for ASCAP or SOCAN to collect fees from that person. So some of the podcasters have licenses to do that. I don't care if my songs are out there for free. That doesn't bother me.
Yeah.
But a lot of people are a little more sticklers about that stuff. Because as far as I'm concerned, if somebody hears it, then who knows that a festival booker won't hear it, or a movie producer that wants to use it. Like so, as long as it's in there, it's kind of like a library. Like I think there's no bad press. But yeah, there's a lot of stations out there. So, but going back to, I don't listen to the radio. So we missed that. Like that wasn't a thing.
No, we would have listened to it if we had seen that message about 2 years ago.
Yeah.
We would have listened to that episode.
Yeah. There's a lot of shows out there that.
But you were talking about advertising, and we don't know what's on.
But it's awareness. It's like that DJ who knows about our song now. Like we've sent it out to a whole lot of radio stations, and like Bandcamp, just as an example, we have never sold an album on Bandcamp. It's been there for 3 years. Every month I get a really excited email from Bandcamp, and it says, "Hey,
guess what?
Here's Mulberry Creek sales for this month." And like an idiot, I open it every single month, and it just shows a bar graph with zero.
With a frowny face.
There's no frowny face, but there's zero. Like there's no bumps on the bar graph, and it's like 0 sales. And I was like, "Why did you send me this? Why? Just let me know when there's a sale. Just
leave me alone until then."
So is that a measure of my success? I mean, if you look at my SOCAN checks that come in every quarter, I mean, I'm pulling in 79 cents every 3 months,
easy.
Every 4 months at least. Yeah. So, I mean, if you measured success by that, I'd give up. But if you measured it by, did I get some really, really famous local musicians to be on the songwriter circle?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And that's what we're doing this summer is promoting the music and getting it out there.
It depends on what you measure it by. Are you having fun doing the work? And I went to a thing years ago. Alan Doyle was promoting a book that he had just released. Not the most recent one, but the one before that. And Memorial University had him over for a talk. And that was the advice. He said people ask him all the time, like, what's your advice for success? And he said, I know what they mean, and they're looking for a shortcut. And he said, and I don't have any shortcuts. But he said, if I could give anybody a piece of advice, sorry to quote, he should be on the show talking about this himself. But
yeah, we'll get him on.
The advice at the time was love the work. And that's really what it comes down to. Like, if you're in it because you can be famous, it's never going to work. If you're in it because you want to get a bunch of babes or a bunch of money, it's not going to pan out for you. But if you love the work, and I also remember years before that, someone said, no matter what it is you're good at, there is a way to make money at it. So if you're really good at working with little tiny tools, and you like working on, like, taking watches and clocks apart, there's work for you. There'll be a way. Like, that's a skill that somebody will need, and it's really a matter of, I guess, hanging out your shingle and saying, I fix clocks or I fix watches. Yeah. And so that's what we're doing. It's taking a little time, but, I'm having fun. And I look forward to the podcast. And
that's what you just said. Love the work. And we're doing the stuff that we are interested in.
That's why we do it. It's like, I know we've gone at it a few times. We've had the Mulberry Creek Hour a few times. We had it where we pre-recorded it. We had a live show that we used to broadcast on Facebook while the show was going on. And different things felt good. Doing the live broadcast was pretty disappointing because we could see that there was like 0 viewers.
Yeah, we did it on Facebook Live. And
so it was a lot of work to put the cameras up and get in there, and a lot of pressure to get all the gear over there. And so people would watch it after the fact, but in the moment, it was kind of sad to see the 0 viewers. So we kind of found our sweet spot, which is podcasting.
Yeah.
So we could send the podcast to radio stations, and I did send it. I sent out a couple of requests to local stations, and I have a massive ego. I don't know if that's obvious. I have self-esteem in the gutter. I also have a massive ego. So one lady wrote me back, and she was like, I'd like to hear it. So I asked if I could send her the hour-long episodes of the show, because we were going to move towards music and have musicians on. And it's someone I think I've met. And she wrote back and she said, well, I'd like to hear a sample. And that's another GFY, hashtag GFY. Google it. I know I could make things easier on myself. I could just send her a sample. But it was like, you don't have Google?
We're out there for free.
Like, you can't type in my name and go look me up to put on your radio station? Like, dude, you need content. So my ego kind of kicked in, and it was like, you know what? I'm just going to stick with the podcast world. I don't need to be dealing with this foolishness. Because, like, I would be putting her voice tag, like the station IDs and things. It would take a lot of work to put, not a lot, but enough, that we would have to cater it to send it to all the different radio stations. So it was like, and I just lost interest. I don't know. Again, Is it an ego? Is it ADHD? I don't know what the hell it is. But also, I don't know if I shared this last week, but there was a really nice blog by Kim Stockwood who put out the song years ago called Jerk. And it was an anthem in Newfoundland. And you should go look it up. Kim Stockwood, and the song is called Jerk. And that celebrated, celebrated 30 years. That's how long ago that song came out.
Well,
around the same time I was graduating from high school. So Kim Stockwood put out a blog, and she's awesome. And I'd love to do a songwriter circle with her. So Kim, if you're listening, Kim Stockwood, this is Vickie Morgan, and I'd love to do a songwriter circle with you at some point. Oh, and also Rex Gowdy. Rex Gowdy, please check your emails.
Focus, Vickie, focus.
I am
Back
focused.
to the story.
This is focused. Rex Gowdy, please be on a songwriter circle with me. I love the album of original songs, and I sent him a stupid email and said, want to be on a songwriter circle? I haven't heard your album yet, but I'm sure it's good. That's not what you say to a songwriter. So I did listen to it, and I loved it, and now I'm too embarrassed to send you another email. Anyway, where was I?
Since we talked last, I listened to your album.
I love Rex Gowdy so much. Oh, my God. But Okay, so Kim Stockwood put out a blog, and the title of it was, You Should Get Your Thyroid Checked. And it got me, it grabbed me. I will full credit for that. And so I went and read the article, and it was the story about Kim told about back in the day when she was meeting it was her boyfriend, but I think she married him. But she was going to meet his family. She was out on tour, and she was going to be in town where his family lived, and he wasn't there. But she suggested that she should go meet his parents, and he was like, sure. And so she did. And she was really, really nervous. And the feedback that came back through the boyfriend was, my parents thought you were really nice, but my mom said, I think she should get her thyroid checked. Because even though she was sitting on her hands and trying to be really good, she was a little bit hyper and a little bit scattered and stuff like that. I had no idea. So it could be thyroid, which I know I have a thyroid condition. That's already diagnosed. So it's possible.
Maybe you just need to re-Google the symptoms.
Did I talk about this? I'm not reading. If I go looking up symptoms, I'm going to get all the symptoms.
That's true.
I don't need any ideas planted in my head like that.
Don't go Googling anything.
If I got a symptom, then let's just say it's my thyroid.
Sounds good.
Like my big, massive ego that I can't bring myself to...
Thyroid.
I'm going to tell a quick story. Thyroid. It's in the How to Fail at Documentary Filmmaking. This is an Alan story. So, back in the day, when I was doing my community access TV show in Maine, and it was supposed to be about mental health, and Alan was touring through Maine at the time, and I reached out and asked if I could do an interview with him, because it was a mental health podcast. It was called Ounce of Prevention. You can go look it up. It was awesome. And he was the third episode. But I'm jumping ahead. I reached out to info@alandoyle.ca. And I said, hey, can I have Alan when he's in town? Is it possible for me to get together with him and do an interview? No response. And so I had a tantrum, and I had got this, whatever.
A private at-home tantrum.
I had a tantrum. And I was like, screw that guy. And then I was thinking about it, and I was like, no, I really do want to meet him. So I'm going to reach out one more time. And nothing. No response. And the date was getting closer, and so he was starting a mental health organization at the time called Dollar a Day. Now, we didn't know that. He had just alluded to it on social media that he was thinking about doing this mental health thing. And so as the days were getting closer, and I knew he was coming to town, I was kind of going, okay, all right, fine, I'll try one more time. So I just picked up the phone, and I called his management people. And I said, okay, what do I need to do to put Alan Doyle in this car today? I said, what do I need? What do you need to hear? What is the magic words here? And she said, first of all, she didn't say, oh, I got all the requests. I didn't see any of your 2 emails. She just went.
I didn't see both of those.
She got right to the point, and she said, well, what is it about? And I said, well, it's a mental health, it's a show. It's on all social media, or it's on the community access stations in Maine. And of course, they were coming to Maine and trying to sell tickets. So it helped. And so she said, the only way Alan would say no to that is if he was already doing work for a similar project or a similar organization with competing, or he just wouldn't have anything competitive, but otherwise she said, I can't see why he wouldn't do it. So I went out and I got all the albums, and I'm driving around Maine listening to all the albums, and I'm like, oh my God, it's going to happen. And then I didn't hear from anybody. And I think I bought his book, and I started reading his book because I wanted to prepare, and I didn't hear from anybody for a couple of weeks, and I had another tantrum, and I put the book back on the shelf, and I threw the CDs across the room, and I was like, screw that guy. And I might have a bit of an anger management problem. Anyway, close to the date, I'm going to say maybe 2 days before the concert, his folks reached out to me and said, okay, we got some time with Alan. Can you come to the show up in Stone Mountain? And also, do you have tickets? And I was like, I didn't want to say it, but I was like, One of the questions that they asked me, this is where the thing got kind of tricky. One of the emails that they had sent back to me was, do you have experience interviewing musicians? And I had a meltdown. I was like, screw that guy. I say this a lot. I love Alan.
How could they ask me such a question?
How dare they?
Who do they think they are?
I was furious.
Do they know who they're talking to?
Exactly. And
you didn't say any of those things. I sound like I'm making fun of what you were saying at the time, but
no, that's exactly how I felt. That's exactly how I felt.
So it was just feelings coming
Even
out.
though I was like itty bitty, nothing, small time, speck of dust, still am. It was just, but my ego kicked in and it was like, how dare they? And so I'm stomping around the house, and that was how long ago? 6 years ago?
Honey, we've been back in Newfoundland since 2018, so it was 10 years ago.
8. Okay.
It was 10 years ago.
Okay, so at the time, we had a very reasonable 5-year-old.
Maybe 9.
Who wanted to know why mom was stomping around the house. And I said, ugh, well, and of course I tell my kids everything. And I was like, well, I wanted to do this interview with this guy from Newfoundland, and I don't even know him, but they asked me if I've done interviews with other musicians. They wanted to know if I knew how to interview a musician.
Henry is still like this to this day. He's 15
pragmatic.
Now. And he goes...
And so I'm like, oh, I was furious. And he was like, looks up at me with these big old brown eyes, and he goes, well, do you? And I went... Now, I'm not going to be mean to my kid. And I was like, well, yeah. And it was like kind of hanging there in the air. And he was like, why don't you just tell him that? And so that's what happened before the phone call. That's when I decided to call in and say, okay, listen, yes, I have experience. What do you need?
Yeah. I think that back in Judd Apatow tells a story about back in the 80s when he was a high schooler. He was like 15, 16 years old. And he would just, a stand-up comedian would be coming through town, and he'd call and go, I'm Judd Apatow from, I don't know if he made up a radio station or whatever.
No, I think he had a radio station, like a college.
But he would just go and have a tape recorder and go talk to like these uber famous comedians, Eddie Murphy and Jerry Seinfeld, and so he has all these tapes of when he was 15 years old of like, he just did the thing. And you did have experience, but I think it's like, what are they worried about?
The truth is, I had only interviewed really 3 musicians at that point, because Alan was the 3rd episode. But
it's not like you got to talk to him with trumpet noises or something. Like,
no,
you're still, you know what I mean?
It was thank you. That's the whole point. What difference? I've been interviewing. Okay. Can you modulate?
We're gonna have to turn the volume down on that one. That's okay.
Okay. Why it bothered me, because there was a little truth in there, and it bothered me.
It's just that sometimes.
It bothered me because I had been interviewing people since high school, back to Chris and Joe, who were in bands. Musicians. And I just realized, and I did have experience. So
I'm going to go email her.
Okay. So it hit a nerve. What was that?
Dear whatever.
Dear people that don't even work for Alan anymore. It struck a nerve. And instead of me getting out of my own way at the time, I was angry. And then the universe, I guess we had already lost Joe at that point, so maybe that was a Joe moment, or we call it a Henry moment, but someone came along reasonable and said, what is it they're wanting? Like, what is it that's keeping you from the thing you want? And I was mad, and someone reasonable came along and said, well, do you have the thing they're asking for? And I'm like, yes, but... Ugh. And then my ego calmed down a little bit, and I realized why I was so hurt.
I'm going to go out on a limb really quick and say that's not an ego.
What is it?
I feel like, and I could be wrong.
Okay.
I feel like that's insecurity. I feel like it's the opposite of ego. I feel like it's somebody saying, do you have experience with this? And instead of just saying, yeah, and having the confidence, it's more like, well, maybe I don't. Well, wait, maybe I'm not as good as they, maybe, you know what I mean? And instead of being like, yeah, of course I can do this. I'm awesome.
I'm never going to say that.
I'm a great interviewer. I'm the best there ever was. I talk to all the musicians. But I think instead you're like, oh, wait, hang on. They're asking this question. What do they know that I don't know? What do they know about me?
I'm going to go back to, so maybe I've evolved into, what the hell, go Google me.
Yeah.
Right? So it's not like they could have gone and found a copy of the Gonzaga Gazette and the article that I wrote in high school, or, the thing for high school happenings, or the thing for any of the newspaper stuff that I had done. Like, there was no, it just felt like there was this part of me, and it triggered. It was like a scratched a part of me that it got through. Anyway, it really bothered me. Why was I talking about that?
Because you were talking about the interview that you did with Alan Doyle when we were living in Maine. Yeah. And you got the interview. You did get the interview.
it changed my life. And this is the funny thing about how easily that could have...
this was the story from the book.
It could have zoomed right past me. Like, that might have not happened had Henry not walked into the room at that moment and said the right thing at the right time and got through to me. Like, I could have missed out on that beautiful experience. And it was like, I was doing the thing. That's the... It's real. Like, this was a real show that I had. It did end up on, oh my God, they played it hundreds of times all around Maine. And I think it was on a bunch of different stations because during
it ended up getting you more jobs.
It ended up, I think, on 30 different stations across the country as far as California.
Somebody saw it that liked Alan Doyle, and you got another job and got thousands.
That's in the book too. That's in the book too.
That was a big deal.
It was a very big deal, and I almost missed it. That bus was stopped at this stop over and over again, and I was like, nope, not getting on. Screw it. You keep going.
Did you hear what she asked me? You don't even want to know.
How dare you?
What she asked me.
So, all that to say, I'll get in touch with the radio station and tell her, I'll send her a sample. Because it is what I want. And sometimes, like, you're your own worst. You're getting your own way. And I think I talked about this on the podcast a few weeks ago. There was an interview with John Mulaney, and he said all the strife that he's had in his life, it was created by him. And this is where we are. And I can't believe I came around to that. Why didn't you just skip ahead 45 minutes and tell me this is where we're going to end up?
All right.
Yeah.
Anyway, I'll cut this out and put it at the beginning of the episode.
If you love the work, and I'm going to add this to it, if you love yourself enough to let yourself have it, and you don't need to love yourself all day long, every single day, every single week. You just a little bit more than you hate yourself, to let that stuff in and give yourself a chance to do it and get past the cringe and get past the embarrassment and ask for the things you want. And when somebody is... So objections are very, very, very important and valuable. If someone is telling you why they don't want something, it's not a no. It's, can you change this thing about this offer?
It's an objection, not a rejection.
So I had a friend who's in real estate who said there's seven objections. Now, he never told me what they were. I'm sure I can Google or ChatGPT, but it's the same in any kind of sales. It's when somebody is actually engaging with you and telling you why they don't want what you have, it's not a no, it's a can you fix this? And I don't think that's a communication thing. I don't think people realize that a lot. It's here's why I don't want this thing. And if you can say that's actually not, you're misinterpreting, or, it's hard. It's hard to do. But it's, if someone really doesn't want what you do, you won't hear from them. Most people don't take the time to say no thank you. It's usually, an objection is, can you fix this? Here's your opportunity to fix this. And objections go the other way too. If it's something that, oh no, this is a non-negotiable, what are you doing?
I'm looking up the 7
Am I bothering
objection.
you? If it's something that you're not willing to negotiate on, then you're free to say, that's not something that's even a possibility. But did you find them?
I found some. I don't know if this is the.
So it's probably in some like real estate.
It's too expensive, so budget. I don't need this right now. Lack of urgency. We're already using a competitor, redundancy, so we don't need 2 of these things. I need to check with my boss or partner, lack of authority. I don't have time to talk right now. That's a blow off. I want to shop around for other quotes, which is just stalling. And send me an email and I'll get back to you. So like a vague rejection.
Yeah,
I don't know if these are actual things, but that's not. These are all things that I can see going at these as from a sales perspective of. It's too expensive. That's something I can fix, or I can make the value work for you, or I don't need this right now. Lack of urgency. Well, I'll let you know why you do need it now. You know what I mean? Like I
don't have the authority, or I need to talk to my partner.
We're already using a competitor. We'll stop using the competitor and use mine because it's better.
Yeah, or I need to talk to my partner. Well, give me your husband's number.
Are they here? Can I talk to them? Can you put your daddy on the phone?
Don't ever do that ever. Yeah. So
this one says this website says 30 common sales objections. I think
this is clickbait.
That guy was out of.
Did you look up real estate?
I bet
you it was a real estate training that he had taken that was that there was 7 classic objections. Which again, if somebody's, I don't know, let me take a wild shot in the dark. Okay, somebody's looking for a house and they call you and you're a real estate agent. It's what are they going to say that is actually stuff you can work with?
Exactly.
Have you found them yet?
I mean, this is real estate.
Yep.
Will you cut your commission? We want to try selling it ourselves.
Yep.
We have a friend or relative in the business.
Yep.
We want to wait for interest rates to drop.
Yep.
We want to list. This is all kind of the same theme.
So those are great because waiting for interest, like there's a response to all those too, right? That's the whole structure.
Here's how I can fix that or make you okay with it. make you buy in anyway.
If somebody is telling you what they need, that's your opportunity to say, here's how I can accommodate that. So like waiting for an interest rate to go down, like, well, the house might not be here. There's an urgency to that. And so it is making sure that somebody buys the thing that you're selling, but it also presumes that they want and need a house or whatever it is that you're selling. And so if you're going out there being scummy and scaring somebody and saying, hey, I just there's a virus on your computer and I have the only software that can fix it, scumbag. So let's do a poll. Let me know if this is scumbag or not.
Okay.
If I were to offer a course or program somewhere that was helping people get their manuscript ready to publish, like a writing group, like if I started a creative writing group where we all are planning to finish a manuscript, like let's say in 6 months from now.
Okay.
So that's creating a problem. Once you have your manuscript finished, then it's the problem exists of how do I get it to a publisher?
Right.
I don't know how to do that.
The next steps.
The next step, people who are just going about their day right now and think they want to write a book and they haven't finished it yet or they haven't started it yet, and I go in and create a problem in their life where they have their manuscript finished. I mean, I get the undertone is, well, they actually have a manuscript. That's a really positive thing. But like, I don't know if there's any way to, it's just trying to put that structure on anything that you do. Like if somebody needs the service that you have, they need to know how to find you. They need to know that you're available to do it. They need to know how much you charge. They need to know if that's in their budget. Like there's a whole lot of things in the sales mechanism that can be answered. And the marketing part of it is awareness. They need to know that you have it for sale, that it's where you like, I'm a person that can do this. Here's how much I charge. Here's how I can help you. So geography is important. The mechanism of delivery is important.
Value is important too. Cause like if you're paying $50 a month for the internet, and that seems like a lot, but it's valuable because if you don't have the internet in your house, you can't stream movies and TV shows. You can't send emails. You can't watch YouTube. You can't play video games, whatever. So like maybe that's worth $100 to you because you can't live without it. You know, like the value to each person doesn't like it does. It's not just the price, the number. It's the value, importance to you combined with the price. Yeah.
So if you're editing videos at home, for example, you need a faster speed on your internet. So the price that someone down the road who's only checking their email a couple of times a day or only watches Netflix is not willing, or they don't want the same level of service that you need because you have video editing, and like you don't need a fast computer if you're not doing editing stuff. So there's a whole lot of who needs what I'm good at. That's the question that it comes down to. Where's like the value that we have come across in the past of do you know how to self-publish? Do you know how to put it on Amazon? Do you know how to format? Right. And if you don't, then this thing that I have is very valuable to you. So if you want to publish your book, not everybody wants to. So some people are happy just having the book finished. Do you want money coming in? Do you want to go to a publisher and get the letter from them saying, we're going to publish your book, here's 5% of the cover price? I mean, if that's what you want in your life, have at it. If you want to make between 30 and 90% of your cover price, if you want to control, you're going to end up doing all the marketing. Again, it's all in the book.
Yeah. It's
all there.
This is a valuable book to you if you want this.
If you want to publish your book, it's a valuable thing. You can also find it all on Google, and you can go through all the searches and do all the stuff yourself. Or I curated it and put it in one place, and then I moved on to something else because that work is done.
Yeah.
And so I'm trying to put that framework on, does anybody need my music? And that comes down to when you go to a show, you forget about your problems for a little while. Entertainment is valuable. Is what I'm doing entertaining? That's not for me to decide. If people come to the shows, then that's just going to encourage me and I'm going to do more of it. But it is this idea.
But that's value too. Like the amount of entertainment, like I would pay $100 to see that songwriter circle that you did this weekend. Yeah. Cause it was very entertaining. It was really good. Like, you know what I mean? But like another show that was happening at, shows that are happening this summer that people are paying a couple $100 for, I have zero interest in going to them. Mm-hmm. It's entertainment is value. Like that's.
Yeah. And so people not knowing that was a good show, that's kind of an awareness problem. So like people leading up to it was the very first one for our songwriter series. And so it's the first one. People have no idea if it's going to be any good or not. So they're like, well, do I want this? I could spend my money on lots of other things. So now the marketing, the job becomes, here's what you missed out on. When we plan our next one, you can be a part of it. So the marketing becomes the video that we took that night. And the people who said they were coming and didn't show up, I won't say it, but you know what I'm thinking. I mean, like these things can't exist when your good intentions don't make these things happen more. It doesn't help with the ecosystem. Like you have to show up to these shows, like, or they're not going to happen anymore.
Yeah.
And so
Bingo.
The marketing, like there's a lot of responsibility. I can cry in my beer all day about that, but really the responsibility is on me for spreading awareness, making sure people know about it. And someone did say, I can't go to your event, but I've seen it literally everywhere. So good job on the marketing. So
yeah, that was nice to hear.
So do I expect a lot of people in the seats the first few? No, absolutely not. I don't. And I'm okay with that. I'm okay just playing with the songwriters, and we had a great time. The next one, hopefully, will have more people. As they grow, I'm hoping that musicians will get in touch and say, I heard about these great events. You're getting a whole lot of coverage. There's a whole lot of opportunities coming out of these nights, these events. Can I be on the next one? And then also for people who want to come listen, when is the next one? Like that's the ecosystem that I want, but I'm starting from scratch. So I can't expect that to be an overnight success. Who the hell am I? When someone's looking at the scrolling past Facebook, and maybe it was everywhere, but did people make purchases? No, they didn't. But when the next post comes up and says, oh, look at these beautiful pictures that Aaron O'Mara took.
Look what you missed.
And so it's all part of the marketing. So was the event successful? No. But was it groundwork for the marketing for the next one? 100%. And that was my goal for the first one, was awareness, which I checked box on that one. Did I have fun? Absolutely. And people will know about the next one. And so it'll grow. And by the time, we get Colleen and Arthur back again, I have another one coming up with Jeff in August, but by the time Colleen and Arthur come back from touring, that'll be later in the fall, and we'll probably do one closer to Christmas again and have the same thing. And the turnout, it's going to be a completely different event by the time we do another one.
100%.
But having friends who are willing to start with you doing a brand new idea is worth its weight in gold.
It was super fun.
Yeah, I get a lot of stuff on my Instagram feed, like it's very sarcastic, like, oh, my friend is starting a new thing, and I'm not going to share it till she's popular. You're preaching to the choir, honey.
Yep.
But it's a slog, and you need to surround yourself with people who are supportive, and that's the creative world. It is it feels lonely, and if you're going to share your stuff with people who know you from when you were 20 and you never used to do this stuff before, it's going to break your heart. If you surround yourself with other people who are starting out, or mentors who have been down this road and can tell you, yep, it's hard when you start out. But it is hard. And I've started, and this whole idea of like, I'm tired of starting over. Well, then stop quitting. Right? So that's where I am musically. I don't have any songs to share this week because I'm played out. But it was a great experience because I got to play with all of them. And nobody cared how many people were in the room.
Yeah.
Not at all.
And speaking of songwriter circles,
there was room for 150 people in that room, so it was sparse. But we scooched them all in, and it was fun, and the sound was great, and Josh was a machine. You had so many hats on that night, and you were just going from pillar to post, doing all the stuff that needed to be done. And it'd be nice to have a budget. Like it'd be nice to be able to pay you or other people in combination with you to do all the jobs, because we took on all of it. Yeah.
I want to say, speaking of songwriters, this Friday, a couple days from when this podcast comes out, there's another songwriters workshop at the AC Hunter Library in St. John's. Yeah. It's free. It's free to come to. It's a super cool way to, if you have any interest in writing songs, and if you have written songs before, if you're a veteran songwriter and you just want to work on some new stuff, come out and hang out. And it's, what time is it?
2:30 to 4:30.
2:30 to 4:30 at the AC Hunter Library. What?
Do you have your homework done?
And I have written a song since the last one, and my introduction to the class to everybody else about myself was that I have written some songs. I'm going to always use those air quotes in the past, and I just was not like, it was just like, and I wanted to write some stuff that I was proud of and happy with, and by the end of the workshop I would like to have some stuff that I can play at open mics, or we play together, or whatever happens with it. I just wanted to have some stuff that I was proud of. So I started, and I got a song written, and
Do you want to play for it right now?
I do not. I will
It's worth a try.
I will keep tweaking it, but I'm happy with it. I'm happy with it. So
I have a couple.
You got some work done too?
Yeah, I mean, they're terrible.
It's good when the teacher does the work.
Well, like you're in the trenches. We're in the trenches together. It was supposed to be a check-in group, and that's exactly what it's becoming. But I do feel that, like, not obligation. It's like a commitment. Like, we're all sharing, and I feel like the creative energy is flowing. And I mean, I'm stuck. I got a whole song written, but can't quite decide on the melody. And maybe something will come out of it at the group that'll be able to share it. I mean, we could share it. We could share it between us.
Yeah,
but it seems like
I had fun writing this week, and I had it like we came up with an idea in the class, and I went with it, and I had some stuff written the first few days, and it was like kind of thing, and just throughout the week I was like, oh, that'd be a good idea. Oh, I'm gonna try this, and I completely scrapped the first. So it was fun. It was a fun process.
So if I tell you that we're going to do that again,
I'm ready. Yeah.
After this week, we're going to have another.
It's nice to have a prompt.
Yeah.
Because I think I have a hard time now as an amateur, complete amateur, coming up with ideas to. Yeah. But every now and then there'll be like a line like, oh, that's, but I can't really. I have a hard time building around the lines. So.
I think,
and we have some people in our life. We have a lot of people in our lives that are really good songwriters, and so I think that being around, like being friends on social media for people that are far away, and seeing people here and doing songwriter circles and going to shows and stuff is really helpful. Yeah. I go to a songwriter circle and I'm like so motivated, and then I get home and I'm like, I got nothing.
I find it's sometimes nice when I'm listening to certain musicians, like the Avett Brothers is a big one, Brandy Carlisle. There's a few musicians that really trigger creativity, and I want to write songs just like them, and I want it just in the vein of, and that's probably the assignment for the next class is going to be pick your favorite songwriter, and that's how Garden Party came to be, because I went home and wrote what I thought Joel Hines.
I feel like that's what I wasn't intentionally trying to do that, but the idea that I first had was very different from what I ended up with, because I was washing dishes and I was listening. I told you this already, but I was listening to the Alkaline Trio, a punk band, and this album from 20 years ago that's so dark and so it's just breakup songs and just dark, murderous punk rock. And I was like, man, I like this. It sounds terrible. It's
that's your vibe.
It's a dark anyway. So it totally changed my.
I think people would be very surprised to hear that you have any kind of.
I didn't write a punk song, but it's. No. I mean, it could.
But that's what brought it out.
It was mine.
And there's a reason that music appeals to you. It's a language. Yeah. It's like it's a thing that resonates, and for whatever reason, I'm excited to hear it.
Thanks.
I think it's gonna be pretty fun.
I'll play it for you one of these days.
It's pretty fun. I'll tell you, and talking to other musicians too, who'll tell you like, oh, I had a line stuck in my head, or I had a little melody or a little riff or whatever that I thought sounded familiar, and I realized I've never actually heard this. This is coming from me. I've had a couple of ideas for songs that I wanted to write, and one of them was really this guy, and it's about going to film festivals or music festivals or whatever and going, this guy got paid to be here, I could be doing that.
Why am I not doing this?
Exactly. And the other idea that I had was I want to build on that idea of how beautiful it would be to meet the people you love over and over and over again. Like, what a beautiful experience that would be, and maybe the song will take a different direction. Maybe it'll be a little bit more about what a privilege it is to forget the assholes.
If you did a song where it was like a verse about meeting somebody and describing that person, and then a chorus, and then the next verse was the same exact. You're meeting the person and you're describing them and you like them and stuff, and then it's 3 verses, but they're all the same.
I mean, you just described most of the sock hop music from the 50s.
That's true, yeah.
It's the same verse 3 times.
Yeah.
I get away from a runner. It's the same verse. And so you get so used to it, and you realize as you age, they haven't said anything different. Mm-hmm. Or one of those songs that has the same chorus over and over and over again many times, and they don't change anything. Like the one about the sun. It's a sunshiny day. It's going to be bright. That one. Or there's something about sunshine. Anyway, whatever. A lot of songs are repetitive. I'm just saying. So it's not that far-fetched to write a song about.
Yeah.
But I wonder about writing songs that are specifically for a certain event. Like, a Christmas song, or like write a churchy song for Easter, or write a song that could be played at a funeral. There's big bucks in funerals. Seriously, there's some stuff that I've been listening to that I've heard, and it's like, that is 100%. That's not something you play at a party. That is, they knew. Brad Paisley or
that was the
Dolly,
name that just came into my head. Was like
George Strait, or
Brad Paisley has a whole bunch of kind of silly, kind of country songs and stuff.
Vince Gill makes his living off.
But what I'm saying is he has a lot of like tongue-in-cheek kind of silly country songs.
Yes.
But then there'll be one that's like super serious. It's like, oh, you wrote this for a very specific audience, and you knew where that money was coming from. Or
weddings. People write stuff about weddings that are,
like you can hear them in the studio going, oh, this is going to be perfect for first dance at a wedding or something. It's like,
I have a graduation song that I haven't brought myself to. And again, the graduation season's already over, so I'm not going to put that out this year. But it's like it matches up with stuff, certain feelings, certain times. But it's like if you go home with the assignment, I mean, people go down to Nashville and they work 8 to 5 every day writing songs all day long. That sounds like hell to me. But if you have a theme, like, what's wrong with a song coming out of a class you took, or a assignment, or whatever, a challenge, or to put it on a certain radio station. Like, those are the things that happened in the Sean Panting. When I did workshops with Sean Panting, we did 12 weeks, and I wrote at least 8 or 9 songs for those 12 weeks of classes. So it was because there was a prompt, and because I was accountable, and I knew other people were going through the same feeling and challenge, and it was a really nice environment to do that.
So if you're a musician in town, you want to learn more about songwriting, or you want to share some of your songs,
even if you're not, if you just want to send us something that, like, we'll bounce it up, like, we can start an online group pretty easily, where we share it on a Discord server, and have the idea of it being a safe environment and surrounding yourself with people who will not tell you it's great. That's not it. But who will also not criticize, because there's no room for, I don't want the feedback. It's really just, I need to play this. I need to get this muscle stronger. Yeah. And I'm not looking for somebody to rewrite it unless I ask specifically, do you have a line for this? Or I don't know how to rhyme this, or does anyone have a melody? Because people really take ownership then of, well, I told you to do this line and you didn't. Like, blech. But when there's an accountability, when you're just sharing for the sake of sharing, and it's a safe place. So that's kind of where I am. So I think it could be an online, who knows what it's going to turn into.
But we do have one coming up this Friday at the library if you're in town and you're interested. So, yeah.
I'm looking forward to hearing your song.
Thank you.
It's going to be really fun if Mulberry Creek had a whole list of stuff that, well, this is one Josh wrote, wouldn't it? So just picture this just close your eyes, take a big deep breath, and imagine we're at a gig and you're either sitting next to me for a songwriter circle, or we're just doing a Mulberry Creek show, and I introduce it with, this is one Josh wrote. It's going to be pretty cool.
Yeah.
Or I'm kind of hoping to write some for you. I'd like to write a song that I could get a dude to sing, that I think it'd be pretty fun, because there's stuff that I can get away with as a woman.
Yeah.
But I think it'd be kind of fun to write stuff for you to be a little bit saucy, or...
I mean, that's how bands do it. Like, I know the Beatles, they all wrote different songs. It was like, oh, this is a Paul song, this is a George song, this is a John song, whatever. But Blink-182, I love. They're a ridiculous band. But like, they had the two leads.
What's wrong with them?
They're literally just a ridiculous band.
Are they?
Yeah, they're just silly. Anyway, but they had 2 singers, and then like Tom would write some songs and Mark would write some songs, and they would sing. Each of them sang, and
So I don't want to talk out of turn. I think Crush did that. Crush had songs back in the day. They're also playing on George Street this summer. Corey Tedford and Paul Lamb, they're phenomenal. But also the Navigators. Arthur was talking about this, where he had a beautiful song that he did in the Circle, where it's normally Fred sings it. And of course, Fred is still recovering. And so his son, Arthur's son, now sings it when they perform together. And so, eventually we'll have Fred back on stage singing the song. But it's just interesting to write a beautiful song and to be able to pass that out to somebody. So that's my next. That, and also I would like to have a choir. That's kind of the dream, is to have a song
that would be
where
crazy.
There's a part of the song where there's a choir. And
what about orchestra? Like, sometimes bands will have like an orchestra that play their songs, and it's like a whole different feeling.
No.
Yeah, just you want
that's
a choir.
Not on my list.
No,
I'd like a choir. I'd like to be able to play in front of a choir, and I've seen, like, Rachel Cousins has done it. Maureen Ennis, I've seen her do it, and it's on the list of, I'm so jealous of that I want it, and that's on the bucket list of singing for playing with a choir,
doing one of your songs.
Well, just to have written something that has a section in it that lends itself to being arranged with 3-part or 4-part harmony is really beautiful, and to be backed. And so I know when I did Leonard Feast of Cohen in January, having the Cohenettes sing harmony behind me was
that was nice.
surreal. It was so gorgeous. And it really is that full embodiment of feeling the music, and people are involved in it, and it just becomes bigger and bigger.
Yeah.
And of course there was a band. There was like a 6-piece band with that. So orchestra, no, but a full band with like drums and a mandolin and a couple of guitars and bass and keys.
Nice.
Yeah, absolutely.
Good stuff.
Yeah. So that's kind of the, like, that would be nice. I just can't imagine what people would play. It just seems like, well, I've only got this one line of music. I can't imagine what anybody else would build around that. But again, there was one lady that came to one of my shows, and she said, I've been sitting here singing harmony for Jimmy Glenn. Like, I don't even know what that would sound like. That's another thing for the list. I would like to have, at some point in my life, I would like to come on the podcast and say, I heard somebody cover one of my songs.
Oh, yeah, that'd be cool.
That has never happened. Someone threatened once. We were at a sharing circle, and someone said, I'm going to go. And it was like, I wrote this 2 weeks ago. Please don't cover my song. Write your own. And that's kind of, I would like to hear now that it's released and is registered with SoCan, cover away and
go nuts.
Please send me some royalties, and that would be great. And that was something that came out of the songwriter circle I did with Joel Hines last year. He really liked Jimmy Glenn, and he said, I think this would be a song that folk musicians would cover. I don't have the first clue how to put that in the hands of folk musicians who'd want to cover it. But we're working on it. We're doing those little steps every day. And so maybe sending our show to a radio station in Newfoundland is not the way to do it. Maybe we should be sending stuff, over to the...
Oh, we have. We've been distributing. So it's getting out there.
Yeah, it's obviously...
But, I mean, it's getting out there.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Patience is a virtue. It's one that I do not have. And so I do like to open the souffle pot and see if it's rising, and that's why we don't ever have souffles in our house, because I can't wait. I don't have the patience. But I tell you what's delicious, and I'd like to cook for tonight after we finish this podcast, is those what are they called?
Yorkshire puddings.
They're so good. They like come up like little balloons, and they squish down. So that's what we should do tonight.
Yes.
Yorkshire pudding. So keep at it, keep writing, and don't judge yourself based on the reactions of people who aren't nice, because they shag them. So surround yourself with people who are actually supportive, even if it's one person, even if it's the mirror, even if you need to say nice stuff to yourself in the mirror. Just trust it. It doesn't have to be the best thing that's ever been done ever. If it makes you feel good, if you love the work, the rewards will come. And I don't know how that works out yet. I don't know if it's just the reward at first is you feel good. And how much, you can't put a price tag on that. If something makes you feel better or good in your life,
that's the value.
Do more of that.
Yeah.
And if it becomes a thing that you feel like you can share, great. And if you want to do a social media calendar and post every day for 30 days, let us know what your results are. And also, please feel free to tag the podcast or my author page or the Jay Morgan video page and let us know. And we are happy to share it with our networks. And we are more than happy to have our stuff shared with your network, because we are, rising tide raises all boats. So congratulations.
That's right.
And if you need any kind of genealogy work done, please get in touch with Blaine's Family Research. Follow them on Facebook. And Blaine and Kim, thank you so much for listening every week. It gets through. Like, it actually matters. It feels like, well, we got to go do the podcast, because we do have some listeners.
We got listeners.
We do. And so we take that very seriously. And I hope that we're making everybody proud. And I hope we're doing work that you guys are happy about and on board with. And I hope we're doing something positive. And I love hearing the stories. I love hearing the success stories. And it definitely prompts us to up our game a little bit and try to focus the energy more effectively and stop, running in place and like, no, what do we can be a little bit strategic about things and see what happens. Anyway, thanks to the musicians who helped with the Songwriters Circle this week. And we're looking forward to the next one on the 6th of August at the Ship Inn. And what else?
That's it.
Final thoughts?
I'm going to keep working on my song for this week, my homework. Maybe I'll write another one. I got a few days.
I think that's what surprises people in these types of workshops is that, I couldn't possibly write a song, but you actually can. And they're going to be great. It's better than the song you didn't write.
That's right. So this is Season 2, Episode 14 of Are You Mad at Me?
I'm Vickie Morgan.
I'm Josh Morgan.
Thanks for listening. We'll see you next week.
See ya.